particular phones. Okay, you have the choice to choose between iPhones, Samsung, Infinix, Itel, Huawei, Techno, and all other mobile phone brands. The beautiful part again about CY phones is that they do not only sell the mobile phones, they sell the accessories too. So you're looking to buy screen protectors, glass covers, phone covers, earphones, any phone accessory that you are looking to buy. Please, CY Phones has them. Find CY Phones at any of these branches. They are inside the old Akate Farms building, just beside Ijaba at Aidoo. And then still at Aidoo, Sambra Hotel Junction, down the old Melcom. There's a CY Phones branch inside the Champion building. Again, he's inside Aidoo PZ, just by the Sobolo station. And finally, when you get to Kejetia, CY Phones is next to the MTN main office. Please call their hotline for me. Buzz them. Call them on 0245 051799. CY Phones there. We are seeing you. Easter way de kuchwanum why when you sofa no what na face pie ko baby kakrampacho pass through Ambi. But if you're in Kumasi, Ambi is at Adiemra, 500 meters away from the Gracefield Chapel. If you want breakfast, if you want lunch, if you want dinner, Ambi has it. You can take our space for bachelorette parties, birthday parties, get together. The opposite of the space near Ambi gives you the right to do that. You are having a wedding, you need us to cater for catering service. Ambi Executive Restaurants, that's that. So please call us, and for orders you can call us on 0597 839363. I'll tell you what, Ambi isn't just a restaurant, it's a community, and at Ambi there's a pinch of passion in every dish. Thank you to NK Splendor Beauty Salon. Over the weeks, in fact, for more than a year now, they make me up. They make my hair. They do everything beauty for Abnaki Adam, and that's amazing. So to the CEO, Nana Safo, to all your staff, everybody inside NK Splendor Beauty Salon, thank you. NK Splendor Beauty Salon is here at Ahojun Siaiso. I just sent the golf bag. So if you need them to make you up for your naming ceremonies, wedding ceremonies, they offer pedicure, manicure, wig making, wig styling, you know, everything beauty. And the men are not left out, all right? YFM. And so to the men, you can go there and unwind. Anyway, my guest tonight tells me he likes to listen to KK Fusi sometimes. Not really sure which particular KK Fusi songs that does it for him, but let's see if this one. I like KK Fusi too. There was this song he did with Reggie Rockstone.
Yeah.
That song used to make me cry.
I love that song.
The video of the song, Reggie, from Bonnet, me why, Ladies and gentlemen, you heard my guest voice, but I'll introduce him. So I don't know what's about the video, but it used to make me cry. Did you watch the video? Very emotional.
Betrayal between two friends. Yeah.
That song is very old though.
Yeah, very. I think when it came out, I was even in junior high.
So it's more than 2 decades.
That was after Reggie Stone released Plan B.
Okay.
And then Sweetie Sweetie and all those tracks.
Hey, Honourable, your music game is on.
Yeah.
You know,
I loved Reggie Stone. I loved Obrafour. Those were the heydays when we were in junior high. So those songs came. Reggie Stone, Lord Kenya, Obrafour. They came like a boom, and every young person wants to know how to rap it. I know how to rap some of Obrafour songs and some of Reggie's songs, Plan B, and so.
But you come up. You appear to be very quiet, calm, serene,
music cuts across. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you are. If you love music, you love music.
You do. Yeah. You do. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, today on Leaderboard Series, we are honored to have our dynamic, visionary, and young leader. Now, he is the Member of Parliament for Oforikrom Constituency in the Ashanti region, where I vote. So today, if I'm drilling Honourable small, it's because I'm his constituent. But he's a proud member of the New Patriotic Party. He assumed office after the 2024 elections, bringing him a wealth of experience both in the public and then the private sectors. It will interest you to know that he holds a degree in finance and strategic management from KNUST and Coventry University respectively, and then prior to joining the parliament, he served as the pricing manager at Bost. I would leave you details of who his father is. I'm sure we'll talk about that in the interview, but he's carved a path for himself with focus with youth empowerment and development, and then a forward-thinking leadership. And tonight we delve into the story behind his journey from growing up to national influence to creating impact, in his own right, and now to politics as a very young man. One thing that excites me is when young people get into parliament, because I believe that they'll grow through the process. We'll grow with them and see how their visions birth to become legacies. Tonight I am sitting with Honourable Michael Kwesi Aidoo, MP for Oforikrom. Pacha mom say. Honourable Akwaba.
Yeah, abna.
Ibiabo Kode.
Yamiadom.
Adiaba Kwame Hune say, I think I knew you before you became the MP. Minim akonyani bibi womana, because you've suddenly become older. I mean, not in age-wise, but you exude so much wealth in knowledge, in physique, in even your dress code. I say the brand mamo be penny intem,
exactly so. Sanity. So unno nsahora na onim paying for as you take up the role, there are responsibilities that come with it, and you have to match up to the responsibilities.
Absolutely. Every
profession and its dress code. If you are a mechanic, you have to wear the safety gear. If you're a lawyer, you have your dress code. If you are a member of parliament, when you enter parliament, the sanctity of parliament, you can't just go in sneakers. Okay. So there is a proper dressing. If you've been following the parliamentary procedures, you realize that there are times people come in and they shout. Some MPs will be like, the person is not appropriately dressed. So based on that, you realize that at a point your wardrobe will start to change. If you're a sneakers person, you start becoming a shoe person, and you are going for a lot of meetings and so on. You are being invited to different type of events. Right. So by the time you realize, you change your whole wardrobe. So it comes with it.
I see. It looks good on you, actually.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Pius Bio says you are very demure.
Thank you, Pius.
To those that do not know you, take us back to childhood a little bit. How many were you? What kind of parents did you have? What kind of schools did you go? And how has it in any way influenced who you are now?
Okay. Yeah, so Abna, first of all, I'd like to say good evening to your listeners.
Absolutely.
Especially those from KNUST. That's my institution.
Your people.
My beloved. Yeah. And the Tuscan guys too, I greet them. They be with me. And most especially your own Yaro.
Aye. Ohadio.
Aye. Yaro mini papa.
Okaso Behawa. But we can't have him in any other way.
Yeah. Mecha Bibiara. Childhood, I grew up in Bwedi.
Okay. Tech Bwedi.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah. Born and bred there. Went to University Nursery.
Okay.
University Nursery, primary.
Okay.
I still remember some of my teachers from my primary school days. My class 1 teacher, Mrs. Amwako. May her soul rest in peace.
I'm sure you mentioned Miss Jackson. So let me help you.
So Mrs. Jackson was our headmistress in junior high. In the early 90s, and I would say she was a disciplinarian. You dare not come to school late, and you dare not fail, because we had this thing called a combine. So there are 450 students. They will use your averages to check who is first to the 450th. And when school resumes, sometimes I think the first month or so, one of the days it will come as a surprise. You come to school one morning and they tell you to stand according. Normally we stand according to our sessions.
Okay.
But on a combined day you might stand according to your classes.
Okay.
And then they will start to mention names from Form 1 first to last, Form 2 first to last, Form 3 first to last. So when they mention the first, I think 10 or so, you come up there and everybody claps for you. Okay. Then they will continue to 100 to 200, 200 to 400. When it gets to the 400s, you realize they mentioned names and they don't want to come up there, so teachers have to go and pull them to come up.
It's Oriba.
Exactly. So the whole effect pushes you to learn, because you know that reckoning day will come where you have to get up stage there. And some people didn't really care, but for some of us we cared. The trick also was that you would try to do your best in your class so that you have a higher average. Right. Once they compare your average to the other 10 classes, you might beat somebody. Let's say if you were 9th in your class, you beat somebody who was also 9th in his class if your average was good. Oh, okay. So those were the competitive moments that I thought build us up. So most of my mates from UP, from UST JSS, today I can proudly say they are all people who are doing so well in society. In my class alone, in my Form 3 class, I know today I'm a member of parliament. I also know one of my colleagues was recently a deputy minister. Oh. That's Honourable Diana Sonabadapa, the deputy attorney general. Yeah, I was in the same class with her. She's a very good friend. I see. Yes. And I have a lot of friends in different backgrounds, diverse fields, some managerial roles in various backgrounds, some medical doctors. If you go to Confanochi, I have mates, Joseph Boni and so on. I have lawyer mates, I have engineers and architects and what have you. So I think Mrs. Jackson did well with us. Right. The discipline was there. She made sure. I remember there was this time that I think some people did something wrong. And instead of beating them, she brought them to sit in front of her office, and they were supposed to read Genesis to Revelation. I heard that. Yeah, you read the Bible. I heard from someone. And quite at times, she would take us to the Protestant chapel, and we all go and pray. For forgiveness or what? No, we pray. You know, you need to. Okay, not the bad people. No, the whole school. The whole school. Okay. Invigorate your spiritual life. Right, so right. She will take us to the Protestant chapel so that the whole school will go and pray for our academics, for our family, for divine protection, and so on. And she made sure the word of God was imbibed in us. So she was like her mother. You know, Mrs. Jackson was a mother to us, and I've met her since I became the MP, and even before during my campaign periods. I met her a couple of times on various platforms, and I went to her to thank her for what she's done for us. Now, would you say that your parents also had an influence? Yes, most definitely. My dad was a lecturer, and my dad too is a disciplinarian. You dare not do some things in the house, and he used to tell us from childhood that what he has is his name.
And
so if you are
need to
his
protect
child,
it.
you need to protect that name, because that name is going to carry you. Those days we didn't really understand, but now I understand him. Because I enter places and I mention my name and they're like, oh, you are Honourable Aidoo's son.
Yes.
And sometimes the name even open doors,
Yeah.
because of possibly good deeds that he has done.
Absolutely.
You know. And when we were growing up, he used to give us his view that the name is like an articulator track. Your name is like an articulator track.
Okay.
The name is the head of the track.
Okay.
And money is the tail of the track.
Money.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you let money lead you, a tail of the track cannot lead the head. The head always has to pull the tail.
Absolutely.
But if you let your name lead you, your name will pull money to you.
Ah.
And if the name is damaged, you will not make money, because the head is damaged. When an articulator head is damaged, it can't pull the
weight,
the trailer.
the load, yeah.
Exactly. But if the name is good, that money that you are looking for, you'll be able to pull it towards yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it stuck with all of us. And even when my friends come to my house on my birthday, you think your dad is coming to give some nice message, and that's the message you tell your friends, that they should protect their names. And back home, because of that, I didn't have the chance to play football.
Why not?
My dad won't let you go out and go and dirty yourself and come back.
Okay.
And he wouldn't want you to go and play so much and not stay with your books. So every time you are home, you're either learning or helping. And
with something.
Helping with something. And those days in Bwedi, our house used to be the poultry farm.
Okay.
We had a big land at the back of the house, and my mom had a very big poultry farm.
Right.
So after school, you go and work in the poultry farm. Yes. We those days we didn't have water flowing, so we had a borehole. So the work I used to do after school is to draw the borehole. Yeah, for the guys who feed the poultry. And poultry, they consume a lot of water, so you can do that for like 2 hours, drawing water for them.
Are you the first son?
Yes.
Okay.
And we had a lot of jerry cans, so you just do that work.
Fill all of them.
I learned how to debake poultry.
Where's the beacon?
Debaking. So layers,
okay.
you put knife in charcoal. When it's very hot, you put a cloth around your hand. You put it inside their beak, and then you just press it. Their mouth is like rubber.
Okay.
So you just press it and it casts it, because if you don't do that, they'll crack all the eggs that they lay.
Oh.
So if you have like 2,000 fowls, we set a day, and we have a lot of people, and we debake.
Does it not hurt them?
No, the mouth will grow back. The beak will grow back.
So that means you need to constantly do that.
Yes, when it grows back, you debake, or you not get any egg.
Hey, I'm hearing this for the very first time.
Yes. Every poultry farmer knows this. I learned how to mix feeds. At a point, we were selling feeds, and I was the one sitting at the store. So oyster shells, sweet bran, and so on. I know all those things.
So that about with some.
Yeah. With hard labor. Yeah. I was mixing poultry feeds. You know the difficult part of it.
Tell me.
When you enter the cage, they have the suspended cage, where they use some 2x2 wood to make the floor casing of the cage. So when you enter the broilers, they, sorry to say, they do their stuff and it comes down. So when after you've killed all the broilers don't spend too much in the cage. Sometimes 2-3 months they are gone. After you've cleared all the broilers, you have to rake all their shit, sorry to say.
Yeah, the feces.
You have to rake everything, and then you rake them and you pack them in sacks.
For who?
People come and take it for manure.
Oh.
And then you have to wash the cage. So we have this flat file that we use to scrape the feces off the wood, and then we have scrubbing brushes. So you hold your water hose, and then sometimes you scrub, and then you scrub every feces off the whole thing. It has to be clean so that there's no infection before new broilers will come in.
Wow.
And we used to do all that work.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this may be out of line a bit, but why was your mother into poultry farming?
It's a good business.
Okay.
Poultry is good business.
Okay.
She used to supply a lot of institutions.
Okay.
Her chickens went as far as Anglo Gold Ashanti.
Okay.
She was doing Golden Tulip. She was doing Stadium Hotel. a lot of restaurants in Kumasi.
We're buying from her.
Yeah, we're buying from her. And it was huge. A lot of people were buying from her. And it was good business those days. She wasn't just doing that. She had a transport business as well and so on. And every business that she does, she makes sure that her children
will get involved in it.
You are learning. If you give me chicken today,
with Jarov,
I can easily dress it for you.
With Jarov,
I can easily dress it for you, and even for the wings at the back so that it looks like just as they
you buy it from the cold store.
Yeah, I can do the same thing for you.
Honourable.
I can remove all the parts, everything.
Bring me to feel the day. You know the scary part of butchering a chicken.
It's not scary at all.
Is the bonyono na utiani?
No. So the trick is after when you are dressing the chicken, the ball and all those things, they are connected to there's a vein here in the neck. They are connected to it. So the first step is you remove the neck.
Okay.
You cut the neck, this part, the crop is there.
Okay.
Where the food goes in. So you remove the crop. After you remove the crop, then you take the neck out.
Okay.
Once you take the neck out, all the stuff in can come out. So you cut where the feces come out. You cut that part and put your whole hand in and you pull everything, intestines, bowel, everything. It will come out. The liver, everything will come out. Once it comes out, the chicken is empty. So you just put water in and wash. And then you stick the thighs in there and for the wings. And you are done.
If you are and like listen, so when the Facebook says oh yeah, how honourable the nensa and then the nimni nedra koko CCA so come to our Facebook page right now. Share our Facebook CCA at Y102.5. Oh, the behavior honourable. So I share the fugu pan and space. Other than say Dracoko. And now what's your show? And I went to make now my bonyo frack.
Let me tell you a story.
Tell me.
So on one of these days after I got married, I visited my in-laws. Why? Yeah, Christmas. And I'm a koto cockerel. I cook a omo. Medoko ya mu yedin komo omo so omo da kokko na ko butcher bi ho amana butcher amomo
abra wa Pochi
ya de ko butcher ho no
Pochi ba te 7 dey ane
nchene odwan ya de ko butcher wo mani butcher na akokko de say efi adwuma o I'm say okay, give me a knife. So they thought I was joking, so I just went to the backyard, digged soil the small hole, and then put the chicken down, turn the neck, and then slashed it.
Come on.
And then I told them to boil hot water.
Come on.
So I dressed it. I removed all the the feathers and stuff, and then I dressed the whole thing. My mother-in-law watched me quietly. So she was shocked.
But honourable, this is before we get into serious business. Almost what to talk about Kasai before Yampa. So
those days, that was what they told us, and
interestingly, it
was true because when you are dressing a broiler and you are talking, I don't know, but after you've removed everything, there are these tiny
the white
hairs that come, feathers that come out. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know, maybe when you delay on it, then it comes out of the skin, probably. Because when you are talking, you'll be delaying. But if you work in a poultry farm and you are supposed to dress 1,000 birds, you don't have the luxury of talking. You are quiet. You just working fast. You quickly do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to Honourable Michael Aidoo, MP. Oforikrom for Nediamo MP. Otimenim. And I Bob Brabum come. Honourable, secondary school ben akoy.
We call Prempeh College.
Oh, honourable so.
Me a man for.
Mommy who says a seniors. That's all be a senior.
Everybody is a senior.
And I don't know what the teacher must say. Most of them come in Floriat.
Prempeh College.
And what did you study there?
I did visual arts.
Oh, you did visual arts?
Yeah.
Why?
I love that.
Okay.
I still love art.
Okay.
I still have my easel, and sometimes in my quiet time I do some artworks
on the canvas. Interesting.
Yeah.
But what was for your father to be an educationist?
Yeah.
Was he in tune with you being a visualist?
He even pushed me more. Oh. He pushed me. He's a type who will encourage you whatever you love. And at that early age, I was a good artist. I could do a lot of artwork. So I remember he traveled outside the country a couple of times. He was dealing with FAO, AFPRI, and some research organizations. And he comes back. I also realized my dad loves art. He'll come back and he'll buy artifacts. So I also started reading into history of this Greek mythology and all those artistic history.
Leonardo da
Vinci and Picasso, and reading about them and so on. And that built my love for art. And those days, you know, following Professor Glover and Professor Delaki and all these big artists in Ghana, I realized art sells. So that also built my love for art.
Right.
Then along the line, after first degree, I think in my third year, we have a lecturer at the K University Business School. He's called Dr. Akomia.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the marketing lecturer.
Okay.
So, you know, Professor Andam introduced a course. It's called the VC's course. And fine art, they decided to introduce the business courses to us. So we started doing marketing, business management in third year. And I realized I love marketing too.
Okay.
And I love business management. And interestingly, I got an A+ in marketing and business management. Like, I did really well.
Wow.
So the lecturer once came to class, and in his presentation he told us, he was like, well, some of you are doing art and you love it and you think this is where you have to be. But then maybe this is not where you have to be. Some of you may be good marketers. And consider maybe changing courses maybe in the near future, because I've marked your scripts, and what some of you wrote, some of my business students are not writing it. Yeah. So the man called me and spoke to me. This was in 2007 or so. And I decided, okay, then I was going to change field. Why? Go into marketing. But then after school, I worked with an advertising and printing agency for 4 years as a graphic designer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Western Publications Group, publishers of Daily Guide, News One. And they also had an advertising company called BBNZ Live. And they produced EL. Yeah. They had Ganaba Advertising, and they later reopened BBNZ Live.
What happened to Ganaba? We used to love the artworks.
Yes. So,
Abena, Queer, Kwabena, those kind of things.
Yes. I was working with Ganaba Advertising.
So you're one of those people that
we are producing those artworks.
And Abena for the debut
we are producing those artworks.
It was a beautiful concept.
Yeah. So
at a point, every lady had it on their DP.
Exactly.
According to the day you were
born. It was
born.
A concept that we developed. Then I think later when BBNZ came in, the company's direction focused more on entertainment.
Music.
Yeah. But I was still with Western Publications.
Right.
Yeah, I was still with them until 2012 when I decided that, no, I needed to do something else.
Okay.
And I had also started my own advertising stuff.
Okay.
So Palace Shopping Mall, Furniture City, and all these companies, before they became big, I was doing a lot of advertising stuff for them, renting billboards, branding their premises, their vehicles, and so on for them.
So you had billboards that you were renting out to them.
Yeah,
that was smart.
Yeah. So around 2012, between 2012, I was also thinking of leaving Western Publications.
Okay.
So I applied for my master's degree in strategic management to KNUST.
Okay.
Because strategic management has a lot of marketing in it.
Right.
And international business.
Right.
So, and consultancy too. So I left Accra, came back to stay in Kumasi for 2 years.
Okay.
Full time to do
your master's.
My master's. But then when I came, I felt I cannot be learning because lectures will be from 8 to about 11 p.m.
On weekends, right?
No, weekdays.
Okay.
I was doing a full time.
Okay.
And I really wanted to understand the field, so I didn't want to do a weekend school.
Okay.
I wanted a full time. And I felt after you close from lectures, what are you going to do? So I had this company that used to do business with my mom. They used to import towels and other products. But you know, when you import a 40-footer container of towels, you cannot load the full container of towels because it's very heavy.
Okay.
So they'll do half, and then they'll do half tissue or tea rolls.
Okay.
To reduce the weight.
Okay.
And in their warehouse, I visited their warehouse once, and they had a stockpile of tea rolls and tissue, like huge.
Okay. This is 2012.
Yeah, this is 2013. After I started the masters.
Okay.
And I asked them what they were doing with the tea roll. They said they needed somebody to sell it for them. I said, Abba, I'm here. I can sell it for you. So I came home to Kumasi. They were in Accra, around the Wager area. I came home to Kumasi, cleared our garage.
Papa garage.
Yeah, I cleared the place.
What about tea roll?
Yeah, and then just around that same time too, one of the Chinese guys had indicated to me, you know, it got to a point in Ghana that people were using T&J.
Yeah.
Plastic T&J for that time. POP wasn't there.
Yeah.
So T&J was like the hit. So I also had this Chinese. It was moving in Kumasi especially, and my mom used to sell T&J, but she used to buy from Sunda.
Okay.
Sunda International. Yeah, and she was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Almost started with a lot of hardware.
Oh.
And she used to buy from them and move it to Western region, in some of the rural areas to sell, because she had distributorship for cement and iron rods there. So I decided to contact the Chinese guys, and I got a shop, 2 shops in Kokobing, Aidoo Kokobing. Okay. When you are just climbing into Kokobing on your right, there's a shop there now. They use it to sell cement and blocks. Okay. The man is still there, Brakufi. We got the shops, and then I will bring a 40-footer container of T&J. Okay. And then we'll put it there. Okay. And sell. And the tea roll. And then I will be using our garage for tea roll. So how are you selling the tea rolls? So the tea rolls, I had people who will come and take some and go and. So you're like the wholesaler. Yes, and there were times if I felt it was delaying, it wasn't moving like the pace I wanted. Then I organized the boys in my neighborhood. We will go to the streets and sell. Why? Together with you? Yeah. Some of the guys are still there. Even my driver who came with me those days, they were all with me. Do you know about Tiro? Don't come in. Yeah, honourable. Wow, what bread? Yeah, so like I didn't see it like bread. Legit money. Yes. It's a Tiro, it's a T&J. And it was good because I remember we bought 500 packs of Tiro, and each pack had 10 of the long packs inside. And each one I was making like 2-3 CDs on it. So it's about 5,000 packs of the long packs, about 5,000 of them. And you make 3 CDs, almost like 15K at when you sell. So I will get money there. You do the T&J. Did you not feel shy that you graduate or your masters? No, when it comes to I'm a conservative. I don't really mind those things. I can, if not for politics, I don't mind wearing this and going and not caring about anything. As long as I'm making my money, I don't care. I don't mind using an old car for a very long time. You might not even see me change cars. I can use a watch for 5 years and I'm wearing the same watch. I don't like to change things, even phones. I use the last time I just recently changed my phone, but I'd used my last phone for 4 years, and I don't sport things. No, but if you spend money, you will not make money. True. You have to save. You have to save, and you see, inflation always affects money. Okay, so if yesterday you had 1 cedi, if you are not careful, inflation will let it reduce to 70 pesos. That's true. So if you make money and you don't save, the next time you are going to buy items to come and sell, your money, your capital would have reduced, and you not get enough money to do your business. True. And your business will start to diminish. True. Your business will shrink. And you hear people saying, because you are not saving some of the money just in case prices go up. Okay, so if you understand how these things work, you are always careful how you spend money.
But growing up, what was your childhood ambition?
You know, I tell people that aspire greater things, but then when you get to points that you realize you need to change direction, you should be confident enough to change direction. I think growing up, I wanted to be an architect. So
you really do like drawing?
Yes, I love drawing, to the extent that I went to learn draftsmanship after SHS. Yeah, so I could draw a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. You know, architecture is different from draftsmanship.
Okay.
Architects who do the design normally give it to their draftsmen to do the line drawings and those things. So my dad was the regional minister for Western Region between 2000 to 2006.
Oh, okay.
And on vacation sometimes I'll go and visit him in Takrady.
Okay.
So when I finished SHS, while I was waiting to come to uni, I went to the Sama, they call it SIMA.
Okay.
Shama Hunter East Metropolitan Assembly, like KMA in Kumasi.
Okay.
I went to see the engineers there, and they took me to the drafts office to learn draftsmanship. And I learned draftsmanship up to roofing of a building. So today, if you give me any architectural drawing, I understand the drawing. Yes, I understand it. And I love building designs too. I love landscaping too. In my home, I bought every flower myself. And people ask me why do you like flowers too much? Sometimes I just go on flower hunting. I travel and I buy seedlings, rose seedlings, just to come and nurse them. Okay, I love nature. And
where that about come until we can relate because
when I drive and I realize I see people cutting trees, I get offended.
You get sad.
I get sad. I really love nature. I wish like we plant more trees.
More trees.
Yeah. So it's been, life has been, growing up has been up and downs. We went through the tough times and we went through the good times. But you know, I think my parents, they put us on a path where we were all built to be strong in
and
whatever you were, independent in whatever you were doing.
As a first son, are you the firstborn?
No,
okay.
I'm the third.
Oh, how many are you?
We are 5.
So you have two
sisters,
okay.
myself, and then a sister after me, Frida. You came for her wedding, the medical doctor. Yeah, and then David, the last one.
Yeah. In a bit, we'll talk more about politics.
Adam's Kitchen. Ain't you beer to me, Toby? A Graniki Amike, Zeda, Yentu, sea packaging. Adam's Kitchen. Jollof and fried rice with assorted options. I'll point to the pizza, special noodles, Benkune tilapia. Adam's Kitchen. Aroma no Kumasi, your main restaurants, El Tanoso, Tafo, KNUSC, and Amstead. More flavor. Namu Buakwani Atasmanso, Yamamu mini restaurants.
Yom Herbal Lotion for body and joint pains.
Why a crado? I'm a Compu Ghana Easter promotion nana. Ani Easter sales are Kesiapan and possible Compu Ghana branches in every net. It was the 30th April. My one sanka deals are up to 50%. So better brands beat LG, Samsung, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Techno, Infinix, Itel, and Nega will be brave. Near the woman said, who quite a woman dedicate Yankasa. Ani, who bet me winning 85-inch smart TV, iPhones, laptops, and Nega will be brave. Compu Ghana branch be a benwo. Nabomodian sell products should be a one sabeka. Face open so draw ni mo and the invoice number no na wa bako short code no and the no no o draw ni mo no rafo draw ne baso May 2nd na eye wo and wo betimi edi nkunim memma sa kwanya wempa wo hu shop online at www.compugana.com and akoyen showroom se wo man mu baby a free 030-275-2020 and our WhatsApp in 024-314-3143 promo yi yene National Lottery Authority and our Caritas Lottery platform na so ene ye adwuma e hye kakra wo ho.
bema wo jonso ne mu pai ebikam eyawo ene moja edi akira ana wote mpampan e wo jonso ne chi ensansa gu bema no ho edura ebeboa wo ene amuzupi oba obam no wote mpampan bone ewom ensuo bi fifiri mu ba etoda emu ekeka wo edura ebeboa wo ene amuzupi ubenya bi e wo pharmacy ne herbal shops nyinam.
Did you know combining red with alcohol or energy drinks is dangerous? This deadly combo can shut down your heart or liver in seconds. Mixing drugs with drinks is a shortcut to emergency room or the grave. Red Means Stop campaign is brought to you by the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment in partnership with YFM and the Entertainment Week Ghana. Greatness comes from growth, not drugs.
Malaria fever.
When you have the extra bit of ambition in your heart, you also need that extra bit of energy to come through. And for that, Rush Energy Drink is the boost you need. Created in the USA and proudly made in Ghana. Thanks to its unique formula, you have the power of ginseng, the benefit of vitamins, and the energy of inositol, taurine,
City Mall. Let's party in madness. Don't forget, the party is gonna be live on YFM. This is Midweek Madness.
Uncastle Lakeside Party. Away back. Easter Monday.
Yemetiefo nyina kwa baba amuzu herbal clinic na yedido bia befe na amuzu p herbal mesha eyedura obi odwonso a emu papa ye be mo odwonso ti ya owum be ma bi oti ya wanka so ni be ma numu be mo odwonso moja anase be mo odwonso a ni motototro na efiri be no mu ba we ni hawa wo hu a edura meka fama ono eya amuzu p herbal mesha obi said doctor me dware wi a na hunam ya mehene ebu on so ase mbobisi kuko dwie ena hunam ani so ho saade no so amuzu pi ena meka fo ama obi said doctor me dwon so ana mu ache minu we na mosen me dwon so wi ana bi akam e ana ma ya so ya me ya uhu sa ha ya meka ya edura meka fo ama no e ya amuzu pi heba mesha ojo so moja anase ojo so no eni nya fani etum anase eni eko anase pampa ya anu o shepa de jo so na echi se sa ha no na ohu a edura meka fo ama ono e ya amuzu pi eba mesha e bia na oti ya onto hwe no mu ya na ya oya onya amuzu pi no mu a sa ha no nyina beko na obabi so a otie mi a insasa agi na kwosheku ma boso.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still here with Honourable Aidoo, MP for Oforikrom, and off air we're having very fruitful conversations. Honourable, we are back. Fast forward from slaughtering chicken to knowing your way around a pottery house to selling tea rolls to one going up Accra, coming down to do your masters. At what point did politics come in?
The politics came in, I think, my first year entering university to do my masters.
Oh.
Masters first year.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Joshua Tunto, had contested for the GRASAC president and lost. He was my friend in Prempeh College, and back in undergrad, he was my roommate from third year to final year. So he approached me and discussed the politics with me, the student politics.
After he had lost?
Yes. He discussed the student politics with me. And he was like, Mike, I lost the election, but I feel if you contest, you win. Because you are a product of KNUST, you're also a product of KNUST. Within the university, people know you.
Yes, from primary, junior high school,
people know you
back to university.
Yes. And you're also in the business school where they have the numbers, and you are liked by your classmates too, your course-mates. So I think you should give it a try. It was just a suggestion, I spoke to a few friends of mine, and they all seemed to approve of it. So, getting to second year, I decided to contest.
But I thought masters was just for a year.
2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
2 years. I decided to contest because I knew my friend who was then in second year will have his colleagues vote for me.
Okay.
So I'll get the second year
his
votes.
idea.
Yes. And then I'll get my first year votes.
But why did he lose? Why do you think he lost?
He went against a stronger candidate, even though he was strong. But then, you know, the business school presented 2 candidates. And business school has the numbers, but the 2 candidates split the votes.
Okay.
Once they split the votes, you know that the other candidate will definitely go through.
Interesting.
So when it got to my turn, I had to work so that I go alone from the business school.
Okay.
So I went to see the dean then, Professor Frempong, popularly known as Prof. Magnus. He's my best economics lecturer. I went to see him to speak to him about having the interest to go for the election. And I also spoke to a couple of lecturers who were very good with me, who I had good relationship with. And they all supported the idea. So we had to speak to a couple of people who also had interest and do some realigning. For instance, one of my friends, Prince, had interest to contest. I had to convince him to come for organizer.
Okay.
Whilst I go for the president. He was coming from Central University as the SRC president and wanted to be GIRLFR president.
Okay.
So I convinced him that, you know what, from Central University, you don't have any link with KN University. I have the second years waiting for me to vote for me. So I have already taken the lead. Come as organizer. The team that I have built, they all campaign for you. And we go together. We were able to form a team. And we all won.
I see.
We all won.
And from primary school to university, you had you held any position?
I was the quiet person. Most of my primary school JHS mates felt I was quiet. I didn't like trouble. I didn't like to be heard. I liked to be by myself. Even though I had friends, but I wasn't the open person. So it came to them as a surprise when they heard I was contesting. In fact, the very first time I stood in front of a class to campaign, my legs were shaking. Yeah, it was a difficult moment. And the campaign team that was supposed to be with me, they were nowhere to be found. You were supposed to enter the class by 7:30. The lecture started at 8. I got there at 7 o'clock, waited till 7:30. They were not coming. So I entered the class, went to stand in front of them.
All by yourself?
All by myself, and I spoke to them that I have plans to contest for the
Did they
election.
feel the wiggly in your voice?
Some people felt it. So later, I had to change strategy.
Right.
I told myself, okay, they don't know you. People think you are young because that time I was skinny. So you need to let them see your portfolio. You need to let them see what's in you and what you are coming with. So I designed a brochure.
Okay.
And put my picture on it and my CV inside.
You're a graphic designer, so.
Yes. I designed it myself, put my CV inside. Indicated all the businesses I've done and all the places I've worked and all the knowledge I had. And I realized my opponents had just finished first degree and had come to do master's, so they didn't even have any work experience. Indicated my age, and I was older than all of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So people take the brochure and they're like, oh, so he's not a small boy. He's been there. He's experienced.
Well vexed in
exactly.
a lot of
So
areas.
let's give him the opportunity. And then I also learned a trick. When I enter a class and I'm talking to them, I don't look at faces. I look beyond their heads and speak to them. Because when I look at faces, somebody might even say something and it will disrupt you.
Public speaking masterclass 101 or the Amamu.
And another trick I did was when I go to a class where I feel people might, there are some classes that you enter lecture rooms and people are very, how do you call it? They are not receptive towards you. I go early, go and stand there before they start arriving. And then I'll ask, who are those loud guys in the class? And they'll show me. So when the loud guys come, I'll approach them and speak to them one-on-one. That, oh, bro, I want to contest for GIRLFR president. I want you to help me. So once I convince all the loud guys, then they'll be like, oh, when the class is about to start, you come and stand there, we will support you. Then I go and stand and talk, and you hear them giving fans from the back.
So it gives you morale.
Incoming.
Hey, I grow here, and I grow it all. We think count me. I see.
You have to have weights and you have to use your brain. And it propelled me because from KNUST GIRLFR leadership, I had a feeling, well, if you've been able to lead the student body and address their concerns, people wake up like 4 a.m. and they call you, President, I have this issue, somebody has been brought to the disciplinary committee, and you need to go and defend and all those things. You need to plan activities and all that. If you've been able to do it, why can't you lead your constituency?
But one would say that one may ask, leading a constituency is pretty different from leading.
It's different.
Leading a student community, because I feel that with the student body, you form a part of them so close that it could be easy to relate to them. You
don't really form a part of them. Every form of leadership, you have to make yourself available. Even with the constituency, I learned something in student leadership, that you can please everyone. You cannot please everyone, but then you can annoy a lot of people when you want to be fair. And with time, I came to realize that when you are done with whatever you do, make sure you leave a mark so that people remember you for something.
What do you think your GIRLFR followers remember you for?
They
just one thing.
They remember me as that open, nice person that anybody could come to.
Now, of all the political parties in Ghana, there is NPP, NDC, CPP. Last week I had the LPG presidential candidate sit on your chair.
Oh, then it's a hot chair.
This is a hot chair. Yes, Apalu was here, my very Apalu. And so there are lots of political parties. Ghana is not a two-party system, it's a multi-party system. Why did you decide to stand on the tickets of the NPP?
Why not NPP?
I mean, I'm just asking.
So I believe in the NPP ideologies.
Before contesting,
so
are you a voter of the NPP?
Yes.
Are you a recognized member of the NPP?
Yes. Most definitely. So by our constitution, you should be a registered voter in the constituency. You should be a card-bearing member of the constituency. Why? You should have exhibited that
interest.
You've been with the party for a while.
Right.
And I was born into the party.
Okay.
I'm not those kind of people that just came and felt like I was born into it. My father and my uncles and everybody in my family are MPP.
But because they are MPP, does it?
I was born into it.
So you had no choice?
From way back as 1992, when Aidoo came to do his rally at Atunsu, I was on my father's neck at the rally. So I have followed MPP politics for so long. When we first came to power in 2000, my dad was a regional minister.
Yeah, you said that.
And President Kufuor will come to the region almost every now and then. He will come to the house. When he comes, we are in the same house with him. You go and sit with him and talk to him and all those things. You've had that privilege of even sitting and having conversation with the president before, as young as you were. I was in SHS then.
Did your friends believe you when you tell them that the president
I never spoke about those things.
Oh, okay.
Some of my friends didn't even know
that's your dad, or this is who you are.
This is who I am. I was that type. I don't go around showing off.
That's okay.
I remember there was a time I went somewhere with a friend and we were driving and police arrested us. And my friend was going to do like, do you know who we are? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I got so angry because I didn't even want to expose myself. And my friend didn't understand me, but I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, trying to protect the name.
Yes, I was trying to protect the name. And that's how I'd always been.
Okay.
When I entered university, my first girlfriend never knew my dad was a minister. Yeah, I dated her for 3 years before she found out.
Hey.
Yeah, she didn't know. No, that was me, because I wanted genuineness.
Okay.
So that the person wouldn't want you because your dad. Because my dad is not me. My dad is not me. I always felt I had to chart my own path.
Absolutely.
So I don't have to depend on him. Exactly. And from coming into the constituency, I realized there's a similarity. You are dealing with people. And you know, Grasag, they are adults. You come to the constituency, you are dealing with more matured people. You are dealing with people, diverse backgrounds, diverse views, and so on. Diverse needs, community needs. You are dealing with chiefs and so on. So you have to learn a lot. You have to humble yourself so that you can enter places and be recognized and be given the opportunity. It took a lot of work to get people to believe in me. You don't just go and people who believe in you and want to follow you. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of convincing.
Before you, who was the Oforikrom MP?
Dr. Emmanuel Mafo.
And was under the MPP's ticket.
Yes.
All right.
And I still feel MPP is the best, and I would choose MPP any day. Because you know, there's this thing President Kufuor said, ex-President Kufuor, that MPP, we are center-right party, and we have the our ideologies are different from NDC. NDCs are more social democrats. They believe in social doing social things for the nation and so on. So like free things for people, just like China. The state will take care of your education. The state will give you free bus. The state will give you health care and so on. But if I sit down and I look at a liberal party like MPP that is into free market trade and so on, developing businessmen. You know, in America, the capitalists, they develop businessmen. The businessmen make so much money, and then they create employment.
Right.
And you have more people getting jobs. So the state does not employ so much. The private sector does. And that's the kind of ideology that the MPP has. When you come to Ghana, we are not there yet. We are a developing nation. So you cannot say that we will continue to encourage private sector businesses and forget the social sector. So MPP comes in. President Kufuor's time, they bring in Metro Mass so that a lot of people will take a bus and do cost sharing. Because how many people can own private cars? That's why the whole idea of Metro Mass came in. We brought national health insurance to take care of the social health needs. We brought free SHS. Before free SHS, you know, Rollins has started FQ, free compulsory basic education. They passed the law, MPP.
YFM.
When we implemented FQ, we realized that the kids were not going to school. So we brought school feeding to attract a lot of students to school. So most of these social intervention, LEAP and so on, MPP brought it. Then you ask yourself, why would a capitalist party, a free market party like MPP be doing all the social stuff? And then that was when President Kufuor came here and said, we are capitalists with a conscience. You understand? So if you look at our ideologies, I feel we've done so well the short period that we've been governing this country. Looking at from the 80s when Rawlings took over, PNDC days up till now, both parties have had the opportunity to rule, but our short period, that's the Kufuor 8 years and the Kufuor 8 years, 16 years, if you put it together, I feel we've done so well for this country.
Honourable, I wasn't going to ask you this, but since you are lauding some of the achievements of the party that you represent and you would choose over and over again, does it mean you are entirely happy about every policy that the party introduced? You have just been the MP last year, right? You're barely a year in Parliament.
3 months.
But, okay, but you have been a member of the party for long.
Yeah.
So in the last, let me limit it to the last 4 years. Were you impressed? Were you in support of literally every policy that your party brought about? Specifically, the e-levy.
Well, I wouldn't say I was impressed with every policy. No government is perfect. In this world, you not have a government that is perfect. For instance, if you go to America, when George Bush was president, he invaded Iraq, and people till today still criticize him for invading Iraq. They invaded Saddam Hussein's country. Is it Libya? And people still criticize him for those excesses. You understand? So every president that comes, you have your shortcomings and your strengths. And even as individuals, we have our strengths and our weaknesses. You understand? So for me, I always look at the bigger picture. What did we do that impacted so much lives as a government? At least I know, for one, we were able to keep the lights on, and for two, we were able to implement free SHS. The reason why I talk about this is that e-levy was 1% on mobile transactions. At the time, it wasn't necessary. At the time, it was.
You tell us.
Because you had just come out of COVID, you needed revenue to boost the economy. So you had to take the hard decisions. You remember during COVID, the president made a statement that we know how to bring back the economy, but we don't know how to bring back lives.
I remember so clearly.
And we are all right in our minds that during COVID, we did so well that other countries were even praising Ghana.
Which is true.
For how good we've handled COVID. Now after COVID, we realize that, okay, our foreign reserves are a bit depleted, because your foreign reserves are depleted because your major exports are gold and cocoa. And during COVID, nobody is buying cocoa, nobody is buying gold. So no dollar is coming in. So your CD starts to depreciate. So right after COVID, the CD depreciates to about 17 CDs. You consume a lot of fuel, which is imported. Fuel drives the economy. The fuel is bought in dollar. Fuel that is coming, because CD gets to 17 CDs. Now the fuel too starts to rise. Fuel prices jump all the way from about 13 CDs to 23 CDs. Inflation starts to go up. What do you do?
Honourable, but just quickly, I recall that the main reason why the e-levy was coming into inception was to relieve of road tolls.
No. You see, that's one thing. So what the government did then was to ease something somewhere and bring in something.
But the road tolls were cancelled for a while.
The reason why they cancelled the road toll was because they felt the amount e-levy will bring in, the road toll amount wasn't anywhere near.
So why did they bring the road tolls back again?
So no, this government has brought the road tolls.
You didn't?
No. Even with that, they just presented a bill to Parliament. The new minister for roads announced that they were going to bring it.
So before the Kufuor government,
no, they didn't bring back road tolls. Or if you pass through Tamamoto Way, it was free. We didn't bring back road tolls.
But did the e-levy serve the purpose?
The e-levy was raising about 150 million plus a year. And it was in a second year. If you look at the IMF report, the IMF report shows that the economy has stabilized. We have stabilized the economy. So once you stabilize the economy, if you quite remember during the campaign, we also said we're going to remove the e-levy because we felt it had served this purpose.
So now, are we going to be in luck now that the e-levy is cancelled? Is the
e-levy is cancelled? Truly, the e-levy was 1%. How many people do transactions on a day that e-levy affects them?
With mobile money?
How many? Unless you do a transfer, it will not affect you.
Okay.
But you buy electricity every month, right? How many times do you send money for you to be deducted?
Not so often.
You see,
personally.
Yes. You see, we don't do these calculations.
I was doing that to avoid the e-levy.
Do you know what government has done to us? They took out betting tax. How many people bet? If you take the youth bracket that do betting, and even among the youth, how many of them do betting? Betting tax was 1%. They took it out. They took e-levy, 1%. Maintained COVID tax, and they brought 14% on electricity. So, did you gain or you lost?
Someone is asking me to ask you that if all these policies were so good for the everyday Ghanaian, why did they vote you out?
So, in politics, people don't vote based on the policies all the time. When policies come, people appreciate the conception stage. Okay, today, e-levy has been taken off and people appreciate it. Give it 2 years. People get accustomed to the realities and they forget that you removed e-levy. When Kufuor came to power, the first 2 months, he removed about 16 taxes. And market women were praising him. 1 year down the line, people didn't even remember he removed any taxes. If you look at the trend in electricity tariff increment, the 8 years Kufuor was in power, he increased electricity, I think, 4 times. If you put the total percentage together, it wasn't so high. But people still felt their cost of living were going up. Today, they removed these 2 taxes. Give it a year, you'll come and sit back here, and people will not even remember that they've been removed. Let me tell you a story. See free SHS. The number of students free SHS has impacted. Just 2 days ago, I was listening to this young guy who works with Kojo Sheldon. Hunter or something.
Yes, I've forgotten his name.
Yeah.
I saw the video trending.
He was talking about how he suffered to go to secondary school. That when he's in class and teachers are coming, he has to run away. And he was hiding. And he's not alone, because when we were in secondary school, we knew people
who were
suffering same fate. Okay. Free SHS came. The last 8 years, they ended SHS. And today it's good that the government says they are maintaining it. What happened is that when Kufuor came to power in 2017, most of the young people who were around 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, or even 10 years, by 2024 they were 18 or above. Some of them were 20 years, 22, 23 years. They were of adult age. They could vote. All they know is the Kufuor 8 years. They didn't experience the years before John Mahama because they were not of age. They didn't understand the John Mahama first 4 years. They didn't understand the Tamil's first 4 years. They didn't know the Kufuor 8 years. So there's nothing to compare. All they know is the Kufuor 8 years. Now, after experiencing the Kufuor 8 years and going against the Kufuor government, give Mahama 4 years. They will start to compare. They will start to compare these 4 years, and then they will start to reason and say, "Oh, but even the Kufuor did better." Like today, just 3 months into the government, there are people that are here and they go like, "Ah, Nesisiana Mahama Dundum Kaniano," and they get frustrated. You understand? When Kwame Nkrumah was president, how many of us were alive? You were not born.
No, I wasn't.
But you came to hear what was written. I wasn't. My dad was.
Okay.
You came to hear what was written.
Yeah.
You understand? When they removed Kwame Nkrumah, the youth then, the university students then, they march on the streets. They march on the streets and they jubilated. They pulled down Kwame Nkrumah's statues. Today, when you speak about Kwame Nkrumah, we get angry because we feel, why do you speak negative about a man who came to build Akosombo Dam, a man who brought free education to most of the university population and got Ghanaians educated, a man who did this and did that? We get angry.
But the case wasn't so years ago.
Those who were there, who experienced it, didn't think so. That is why they took him out and they jubilated and pulled down his statue. They took down a Kufuor statue in Takra, didn't they? They did. 8 years, 16 years from now, the youth who will come 20 years from now, they will question and say, "But Kufuor brought you free SHS. Why did you remove him?" And by then you will not even remember the negatives. Do you remember the negatives in President Kufuor's government?
Would you say there's no good deed in the Mahama administration?
There are definitely going to be good deeds. But what I'm saying is, do you remember the bad deeds in President Kufuor's administration?
That was epic.
No, Kufuor didn't bring HEPIC. He came to meet a Ghana that was HEPIC. So HEPIC is just a term, highly indebted poor country. So he came to meet a Ghana.
He was associated with it.
No, he came to meet a Ghana that was highly indebted poor, that couldn't go on the international market to borrow, that couldn't do anything, that inflation was high and all those things. So there was a group that you can go and join, and then all the countries that you are owing will cancel part of your debt, so that you will get there, you feel free, and then you'll be able to work yourself into the economy.
But
that was epic.
The point I'm trying to drive at is that just as we have some laudable achievements of the Kufuor government, and we have other ones that still got some members of the country to vote against the government. Equally, there are good deeds that the Mahama administration did for 4 years, but they were still not appreciated.
Tell me one.
Abna,
give me one policy.
I don't know.
No, Abna, we are talking to the youth today. Ghanaian youth are listening. Give me one policy.
See Dubai.
Which one?
KJT Dubai. So they see
KJT. Aye. Na Dubai mau.
That's what they did.
Market Dubai mau.
Honourable. Now let me take you away from MPP small. Let me bring you back to your constituency. What are some of the policies that you think your constituency will be grateful to you for? Just two.
So, for now, one thing I realize is we need to help a lot of the youth develop their entrepreneurial skills. So I've started building a collaboration with the KNUST Business School so that we develop an entrepreneurship program to develop more youth in entrepreneurship, because I believe in entrepreneurship. I've gone through the mill, so I understand what you can do if you are doing your own business, what you stand to gain. Apart from that, there are also other things that the constituency need in terms of development, the school infrastructure and so on, that we need to bring it up to state. So I've gone to inspect most of those issues, and very soon we will start getting people to site to work on those projects. And I'm sure when it gets there, we invite all of you to come witness it.
Delighted.
And I have a project that will be coming up soon. Recently, I'd wanted to hide it. I didn't want it to be open. Recently, I got the engineers to come and survey the constituency. There are areas that have bad network. So we are trying to get Starlink to install in some of the communities. It will go a 1 kilometer radius, and we will be giving free internet to some of the communities. So,
but how many towns does the Oforikrom Constituency?
We have 22 communities.
We
have 22 communities, but quite unfortunately, areas like Aidoo, Kokobing, Emena, Bwedi, Apradi, and so on, when you are there, you can barely even use Airtel, Tigo, or Telcel data, unless you're using MTN. And even MTN LTE, sometimes you suffer. So I thought about it, because I am living it. When I'm around those areas, you can't even call me on WhatsApp call. You can't call me on any social media call. So
Tuba Kumasi, do you still stay at Bwedi?
No, I'm now living in Aidoo. Yeah, the same, just like some 10 minutes. We left Bwedi around 2000. 2004 or so, thereabouts.
How do you stay connected with the constituents now that being a member of parliament would take you to Accra more than often? And your constituents are down here. How do you stay connected with them?
Kumasi. Na yema ya Asante semunyade. So Kumasi is not far from Accra. If you take a flight 30 minutes, you are here. Almost every weekend I'm here. Every major event that comes within the constituency, if I'm available, I come. I make sure I come down.
Were you really ready for all this?
Yes.
I'm asking because is it not too much work? There is family.
It's a lot of work. But you need to balance yourself. You know, when you apply for work, they ask you and you say you can multitask. You can multitask. So leadership comes with it. Being able to do diverse things, managing family, managing the constituency, managing parliamentary work, and even managing yourself in the media. You have to do all together. So what I normally do is when it's time for constituency, it's time for constituency. And now my family, they've come to accept it. Quite painfully, sometimes when I pick my bag and I'm coming to Kumasi, my daughter will be like, Daddy, why are you always going to Kumasi?
How old is she?
My daughter is 8 years.
Okay.
My son is 10, and my last born is 5. Should be 5 soon.
So there's 10, 8, and 5.
Yeah. So
2 boys and a girl.
One boy and 2 girls.
Okay.
So the girls will be like, Daddy, why are you always going to Kumasi? And once in a while, I tell them that I also take you to Kumasi. So this Easter, I've asked them to come to Kumasi so that they also spend time with me here. Few times when I close from work and they are not asleep, I try to make time for them so that they will also feel me. Because when I was growing up, my dad was a politician and my dad was always traveling, always busy. The few moments that we had with him, he made sure it was a lasting, valuable moment. Normally on Sundays, my dad would do breakfast for us, for everybody in the house. Everybody. He had his own
way of making.
He had his own special omelette that he uses, corned beef and so on. He'll break like 15 eggs, put corned beef in, and the omelette will be thick like a pancake, and he'll cut it in pizza shapes for everybody. And we enjoyed it. We enjoyed those moments. So the same way, any valuable moment I get. I remember last 2 months, my daughter had a project work. I had to sit with her, support her to do her project work, and it helps them.
At what age no money project work? In fact, Montessori for school, so
they be on the project work for, but in answer I can't go.
Interesting.
You have to learn how to manage it, and it's I always tell myself it's a learning curve. You don't finish learning, and we are still not perfect. It's a ladder that we are climbing. Every step you need to learn something new so that it propels you onto the next step.
I'll open the phone lines very soon, and I'll also get on Facebook to read some of the comments that I've received. But honourable, politics is one of the spaces where you are exposed.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel that it's one of the quote-unquote industries to be in where you are so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Did you consider it all before you decided to be in mainstream politics? And what are some of the measures that you have put in place? Especially, you have kids, you have wife, you have mother, father, there are families, there are friends, there are close people that matter to you. And because of you, all these people are the mercy of opposition parties, the media. You can't even yawn because your brother is an MP or your father is an MP.
It's true.
What measures are you putting in place to protect all these people who, for no fault of theirs, you're an MP?
So they say politics is a serious business. I didn't know that you get into politics and you lose social life.
Yeah.
You can't sit outside and drink. I remember there was a time the former Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Mensa. We went to him, myself and Aidoo, the agrochemicals man. We went to him and he was like, "Oh, Minister, there's this catfish joint. Yankwat's on Yankwari catfish. Was it Shenan Crawford say me the almost catfish." So Aidoo ordered the catfish to his house, and we had to sit in his house and eat.
And to join too far.
Exactly. That is how our politics has become, because somebody will pick a phone, record something, put a narrative, and it trends.
Yeah.
What I do is I try to make sure my family doesn't come into my politics. Once a while, when my wife is in the constituency, she meets and fraternizes with some of the constituents. But there should be a separation,
a boundary,
so that they don't get so much into it for people to extend whatever to them. I also have this defense mechanism where on social media people insult and I close my mind to it. I tell myself these people, a lot of them are fake accounts. A lot of them, when they meet you in person,
they will shake.
They can't even say what they say.
They can't even talk.
Because when they are behind their phones, they can write anything.
2 megabytes.
So I don't let it get to me. Quite recently, a respectable lady, you might know her, Leila Jensi, and speak less. But when you become a parliamentarian, sorry, we speak more. Because you have to speak on the floor. So we've all become a little bit like talkatives. But when I get to places where elderly people are advising me, I keep quiet and I listen. I listen a lot. It helps me. It shapes me. And where I don't have to speak, I won't speak. I'm careful the things I say, because some of the things can put you in trouble. If I don't have facts, I won't go near it. I would have done my research so well, thoroughly, before I speak to issues, so that I know that if you bring it up, I will be able to defend whatever I'm saying. Yeah, that has been my bane, and I think it's helping me so far.
What do you think? Before that, if you have the power, how long do you want to stay in Parliament?
I don't know. God is the maker of kings. He crowns us. I believe he crowned me. He set me upon this path, and it is not up to me. It is up to the people. If what I do impresses them and they are appreciative, they will say, honourable, contest but I believe everything is God's plan. So wherever he takes me, I follow. If it gets to a point where I have to go again and again and again, it will be God's will, and it will be done.
People feel that, I heard people say that when the assemblyman one sheda and deep posting be so if not by your father's influence, you couldn't have been where you are.
They don't know the work I put in. Anybody who understands the constituency of Oforikrom and knows the work I put in appreciates what I did.
But it wasn't you had contested before?
No, my first contest.
And then you won?
Yes. The day I won my primaries, I still have videos. I have people who knelt down, raised their head to the sky and shed tears of joy. They shed they shed tears of joy because they know the work we put in.
Yeah.
What I was doing was, I wasn't all over the media. During the primaries, media houses invited and I tell them, no, I don't do media in primaries. When I win, I'll come to your TV station. Nana Jantwa is my junior in Prempeh College, my very good friend. Jantwa invited me a couple of times to his show. I didn't go. I only went after.
Why?
Because I wanted to keep a low profile and work down there and win.
Grassroots.
Because sometimes when you go out to the media, you expose yourself. You know, the day I was going to pick my nomination form, I told my constituents that everybody who loves me, every polling station executive who loves me, join me to go and pick the form. And about 560 people came out to join me. Whilst my opponent had less than 100, which some of them were even rented boys from campus.
Right? You're independent.
Oh yes, yes. Right after that day, my troubles began, because my opponent saw my strength and started attacking rigorously. So I've learned lessons in politics. That it's always better that whatever you are doing, you keep it under, you lay low, and then when the time is ripe, you come out. When you go down, they will tell you, say, at the end, it's a ball as you jam. With time, we won't say, and that's how it's been. People who didn't really know me thought maybe they just plugged me from the sky, and my father came to impose me on the constituency. But today, telling you all the things I've done in the constituency, my growth through the constituency, my days in KNUST. You cannot attend KNUST nursery primary JSS and not be known in the constituency. I was baptized at Our Lady of the Holy Rosary Catholic Church at KNUST. The priest that baptized me is there, Monsignor Apiapoku. Monsignor Opoku Ajiman, sorry. He's there. He's alive. All the big people, Professor Ampedu and all the big people that when I was growing, I'm going for first communion and things, the lecturers who knew me, they are still there. I have people within the party who knew me in my growth stages. My teachers, my nursery primary teachers, JSS teachers, they are all there. Maybe one or two are dead. May their soul rest in peace. But a lot of them are still alive. and they live in the community.
So you didn't just show up to the constituency?
When I came, people already knew me. I had done business in the constituency. People had done business with me. Okay? I had relationships, my cousins, my aunties who live in Oforikrom, in the Duako and so on. People from my hometown who live within the constituency. So I had a very big network. Some of the constituents came to me and told me, Michael, we think if you contest, you will win this election. And we like what you are doing, because I was a party member. I wasn't holding any position. I was doing my job as the pricing and risk manager at Bost. But what I was doing is, if I have any link within government for employment, to help people get placement in national service, to help people get placement in teacher training, nursing training, or whatever, I will use my network to help people. People do these things and they charge fees for it. I did it for free. And people appreciated the work I was doing. And they felt, okay, this is leadership. Leadership is meant to help people, take people out of their problems and raise them. If you're able to get people employment, you don't just feed them, you feed them and their families.
Right.
So all these people appreciated what I was doing.
Right.
And they came to me and said, Michael, we think if you contest, you will win. And they all supported me. And you see, in politics, I've learned something. It's like cooking jollof. You don't just put it on fire and leave it.
Okay.
And it will cook.
Jollof.
Of course.
The
longer the jollof cooks, the better.
Yeah.
But as
it
you
needs
are
attention.
cooking, it needs attention. You need to stir it so that once a while it becomes even and it won't get burnt. But I don't cook. I don't cook. So the same with politics. The longer you do things, the more people appreciate, the better it gets, and the better you become. But then you need to stir it, you need to spice it, so that the people that you are with, they don't leave you, they continue to stay with you. That is why even today, all the people that I started with, they are still with me. And it will interest you that the people that were with me even in my Grassack days, when I was doing my Grassack election, all of them came to support me when I was going for MP. Why do you think they'll do that? If I was a bad person, do you think they'll come and support? They wouldn't. They were all rooting for me because they know what I am, who I am.
YFM.
So it wasn't just by chance. It was dint of hard work.
Finally, then office of Oforikrom for a shisha free the 3 months out of the 4 years. There be mashada na mibisa wa kankasem ehia ye pa ana ehia pa wanya she crowd ye say when you bibia ma wase a omonokrono eno de wanya ne we say honourable buy no enye yeko enye wedding ko eya dibia say dia koma so a ye say honourable betumi amiti say if not fully crana obe attempt say obi be say anya astroturf so eh bibi what do you think say and then our constituent no alene be say we dear honourable
Oforikrom issues the adults no, but I think the major issue in Oforikrom one edumasem, 2 year roads. Luckily before the election year roads nibi. Just before the election me to anamoma honourable asenso my kilometers nibi nti na offer angoma so adebi ekwa angoma so kama side hona ya roads nibi high tension ya bi high tension say a lot of people said honourable no dey kwan with the man yahwa found there near wewu. And luckily I was able to get a contractor Kenspock to come and fix it before right after the election and obey, or shall I say before the election. And I remember I went there during the election and somebody came to insult me. Yeah, a man accosted and insulted me. Say the munimano politicians mo the machine abegu so mo bedada in Troda Munimucha Akron 4. He said a whole lot of things to me. To you, in person? In person. One on one. He was following me and saying it to me. Hey, Charlie. So I just decided to ignore and walk away. And so very you're no first coat, I think on second coat, and it's more trouble now. So the last time I went to inspect, I was looking forward to meeting him so that I'll ask him to eat his worst. So that Obehu say I didn't know, you know, it was offensive.
It wasn't fair to you.
It wasn't fair to me. But mention, but Nina, a part of the hazard of the business. Papa ba yeji, bonenso ba yeswani na. So my hope is that this tenor we'll be able to get some extra rows. Okay. So that our rows will be motorable. The painful part is opposition. I am now binding time show because of question the other constituents. But then we will still lobby and push so that we get some extra rows in the constituency. Now, at least, yeah, to me, I'm a constituency in my camera. Apart from that, and there are some major interventions I was here in terms of education. I want to set up a scholarship fund. Because once a while you get people coming and say Mebako school, Yamwa, and all these things. There are students that may a candidate in pool. Some of the lecturers will approach and say these students Unyamwa, Yambuano. But now I'm going to categorize it so that it will be Oforikrom based, not anybody from any other constituency in Ayabuano. People from Oforikrom who genuinely need help.
We can extend to.
I have a former headmaster and education expert in the constituency, or one of my patrons, constituency patrons, you know, education. So I'm planning that when we set up that scholarship fund, at least they will be in charge to administer who gets it, so that at least every year be say in Kolani and so these are some of the key things I want to do for the constituency. Apart from the other things I earlier spoke about. And I know, say, by the time I leave, I'll be remembered for it. At least people will say, honourable Aidoo, or they know my scholarship. Exactly.
Finally, your youth are listening, and this program is basically to inspire the youth. I'm sure that today, if not for anything, they know that we had a background so kakra. So we had a basa on yada daba ejumadin kumnipa.
Of course.
Of course. Any final words to your young men and women listening to you from Oforikrom?
I have some few things I want to share with them.
Go ahead.
One on commitment, two on being focused, not focused FMO.
Oh no, what the rap
being focused, and then 3, being honest, and then 4, pursue your aspirations. So on commitment, the difference between successful people and others isn't their talent or luck. Is about showing up consistently.
True.
Successful people are consistent in whatever they are doing. So I will encourage the youth to be very consistent in whatever they are doing. Today you are doing this, tomorrow you who say oh you now you for so if you who they oh you know the koboha now it's the koboha. Be consistent so that people will know you, that you there when it comes to this we can call on you. For instance, when it comes to public speaking, meaning say me per voice be a da ni panika say be tongue of akuma, so me say me bab na ke dia ebefa, because you are very consistent there. And that is one thing I want them to do. They should be very consistent. And then they have to be very focused, because it's not about doing one thing forever. It's not always about doing one thing forever. It's about doing one thing right now. So you take action now. You don't wait. Sometimes we procrastinate a lot because we are not focused. We have too many things taking our attention. So once we remain focused in whatever we are doing, and do it now, start now. You have young people saying, oh, I want to start a business, but they be either no. Onim the person you onim when to start. But possibly that business that you want to start, even the name of the business came to mind, you didn't write it down. It starts from even writing it down and moving to the registrar general to register it as a limited liability or an enterprise. And once you registered it, you know that you have a company lying down, so you have to work towards it for the company to thrive. So you have to be focused in whatever you are doing. And then you have to be honest. That's one thing that a lot of people are lacking now, honesty. Not
to cut you in, an incident happened, I think somewhere about Achakra, Namete, Kam, Trotro. Na baby na ye nam no kra na enye traffic prone area. Mate in a shorter distance. Let me use this place. If I send me free, I want to run about to call Aidoo. Or say oba MTN junction 4 cities.
Yeah.
And you're free. And I'll be through Cow Bank. Share distance and another for Golden Bean.
Yeah.
Also by MTN junction. Or for a Golden Bean or drew Cow Bank kind of started so pike room. But this person no so cook room and Cow Bank no but because I also buy MTN Nintendo, I no feel so see obenya be at so. It's you who drew Cow Bank now from Golden Bean also cook room. Me wa no so cook room. Then the lady had given the guy money. I think so no man or 10 cities or so. And shorter distance and now 4 cities. And anka oko straighter ke 5 cities 80 pesos koko straighter.
Which is not much.
But wasa to aso bioma 4 cities 80 pesos. Girl ni chewie na we started say wo pai Aidoo. No say all to aso.
Obeka say there be obejo.
No. Everybody in the car were like to shenya meaning agin obi a won see for
you know there's something happening in Kumasi now. Omo say the stretch from Kwamo Aprade KNUST Junction Bomso Eba and Ragako Aidoo Ofaka Odu Junction no esimu nyina
enye honkwan honourable
no asa charge mo
kunum na francho kwa the west because of overpass now omoye no kunum na francho kwa the honourable
it's so painful.
It's crazy
what these drivers are doing. And
if you francho baba chronom to macro to post office post inti ubon say ade anka we say bia uchi be 6 cities no uba no be 20 Ghana
cities. And you see it all comes to honesty. We are not honest to ourselves. And so we end up they say that the society you build is a reflection of your leaders.
True.
Sometimes we do these things and these young people now they no o trotro unu akrake to ade bia na wo je no wonu hu se nya wo pesca no into wonyina. These things are wrong, and I think we have to change it. Because what I've seen about leadership is that your reputation for honesty is your most valuable asset.
It's true.
And that once you lose it, no amount of explanation can restore it. Yes. And it is like wearing a white garment. You wear a white garment for your primary comfort or for you to look good, but it is for the appreciation of others. So if you are honest for the appreciation of others. But then YFM good. The youth should try to be very, very honest in their dealings. And lastly, on aspirations, they should dream big. Their dreams shouldn't scare them. You see, sometimes we think about things and we think it's not reachable. Okay, you look at Nikwe and you are like, oh, the other now we drew her.
Now, my video better was white.
Exactly. Okay, Nikwe is not saying, "Mommy, no more, baby, omote, ensure na honum like no munyobia." And I've heard a lot of stories. I've visited people. I've been with Magdan. I've heard Magdan's story. Tama or Habo, boy in Yama, post boy in Ade. I've listened to a lot of people and how they came out. You see, the youth now, what we do is when people tell their stories, we picture that like it happened yesterday, and we laugh at them. Some of these people, they hustled for years and they had a breakthrough.
Rome wasn't beyond today.
Exactly. So if you are young today, aspire greater heights. Don't think it will happen tomorrow. You are 22 years. Yours may even happen when you are 40 years. But within the next 10, 15, 20 years, what are you going to do with yourself? Be consistent, be focused, be honest, and aspire great. And by the time you get to that 40 years, 45 years, or 50 years, you'll be a great person. You'll have achieved whatever you want to do.
Let me say hello to Pius Bio. It says very demure MP. Pius is equally saying the best Oforikrom has ever had. Take the name of Oforikrom high, honourable Aidoo. I saw also Ansaba efficacy you are watching. Pio says DB with breathful. Pio's not behind Pakojo says the roadmaster of Oforikrom youths are proud of you. Wakunta was watching.
Wow.
Raymond Jubing Asante says the man honourable Michael Kusiedu. Frank Adupuku says my MP Wate. My guy are doing it well. Keep it up. Raymond says honourable Aidoo indeed is the engine that Oforikrom has lacked for so long. May his reign be a blessing unto us all. Wakonta Semenkajo said he prays you excel in the Oforikrom constituency. This guy dragged me to come and vote. Dragged me to come and vote. I am shading my husband's life on radio. Hello. Dragged me to come and vote for you.
I'm not here that say. I'm in Shamo.
And so me name send me to you,
YFM, you know, when YFM came to Accra, those days, that was the only radio station I used to listen. When Jay Foley and this lady, she was a musician, not a Sakumono. This slim, nice lady.
Jeremy,
and I used to listen to them back to back. And interestingly to them in YFM studios in Kumasi.
You know, thank you for coming. It was a short notice.
Yeah.
But you honored my invitation. In fact, I owe you one. You see, I'm the car. I'm the car. Baby, I'm from your mama. My swan she. I know, but them DJ on the set. Adwuma radio soon.
Yeah.
Honourable menya ye, honourable menya wedding, honourable me to me wedding, honourable me ye we. Dudwani sado sunta krache.
Yeah.
Inti ya no ye ahwe ye kakra mai.
Mati.
Na de wodi asi wani so no. Bomodia se obeye so de aboaye because ena na wo kan say constituency no. I form part of the not your constituency, Krana, me obisu constituency member. Ayana yemprenia bebre, so we are not expecting so much. Sometimes we want to see our MP visible.
Exactly.
Okay, only ene wo say yenam kwan boni so oba ne car fasubi. And so no kwan bantini edimika kwa ye. We I think our needs are very small. Ayana huni say yes, sa wote parliament kasa ma yenkwa. Be with us. We want to feel you as a part of us. That way the person feels that you relate to whatever they are going through. So when you share crowd on himself what can I say? So but be more until I'm sure that besides say and crying Kumasi or anything. But I am reliably informed that you are mostly in town. In fact, I saw you recently at the funerals and all that. Inti would plead with you to do your best for us and for your constituents too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. I want to
thank my constituents. I want to thank all the youth who are listening to us. I want to thank my family, my wife, my children.
Yes.
I love them so much. I want to thank my team. See, look at the time, they are still with me.
What did he do?
My constituency executives it's not just by my strength and it's by God and them. And I want to say, anybody who wants to reach me, they can reach me on all the social media handles. Mike Aidoo, Facebook, Instagram. I have a WhatsApp channel. They can reach me there. I'm on X, not so active there, but then Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Mike Aidoo, you can reach me. And follow me, and let's continue to have sweet conversations.
Beyond even
that will impact Ghana, that will impact Oforikrom. And anybody who has interest in politics also follow me, because I sometimes put out things that are very educative. I sometimes put out debates on some of my platforms so that we can all debate and understand some of the issues going on, because as youth, a lot of people don't understand government decisions. So when you get people to explain to you, it works so much. And I want to say that everybody listening should remember that the best time to start was yesterday.
Absolutely.
If you didn't start yesterday, you didn't start. The second best time is now. So it's either you started yesterday or you are starting now.
Just do it.
They should have a blessed day.
But well, near Banami, and so you be near Nyanyo. Hayani,
of course. 80 make on the American say the same pay for the Uchasa. Seven in a chair day, Achia. Intimate chance for Montenegro and among framing.
Thank you so much, Honourable. P2 Lounge this Wednesday. Ebe Bubrija, alright. P2 Lounge is having Yebo House. Is a night that promises excitement like never before. There'll be a live DJ set, drum set, live saxophone vibes, free Bailey shots. Timisho, ene ya starte, ene ekoso. Se bongo mbeko ho. We quite a code dia. Inti a free sub. Send to the Mikabesa in your Makoye. So come through P2 Lounge inside the Kumasi City Mall for the Yebo House, hosted by DJ Koda. Miso, and then send me free to me coffee straight in no. Mfasi and I'm in more live. Please see you soon at the Kumasi City Mall at the P2 Lounge. Utifio nyashenya. Mr. Fakabra Kumasimo, why thereof? Come to the P2 Lounge. Again, shouts to NK Splendor Beauty Salon. Unse makobe biana me hwa fa mo ani sisi me ho. Be bia o frame wedding as you program as na BMC ma wo ho. Na se ma ho fe ne so wani a NK Splendor Beauty Salon. Intimacy, find them. And wa ho jinsha iso ya golf park opposite wana. Opese ubuki o ma, please call 0543 543 111.